Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So I have completed the beading around the wreath and I've added in the little buttons. I ended up finishing all of the little twigs, but I removed the French knots. If you remember, I did some little French knots around these sprigs here, and at the time I just wasn't 100% sure I liked them. And as I continued around this side, I didn't put any in, and then sort of just looked at that and went, yeah, no, they've got to go. So I've snipped the little French knots out. I have also stitched down my bird, and it wasn't real exciting compared to what I want to do next. So I went ahead and did that without you. And I just used a stab stitch just to tack him down all the way around his body. And I used the one colour. I could have gone in here with the blue, but I decided not to. I just wanted the wing to be very simple and neutral. If anything, the bird has the feature, the body, and the wing is going to be all lace and bits and pieces. And I've got a little pile of snippets here that might work. I did do some pistol stitches on his tail. Whether we'll see them much, because when the nest goes into position, it probably will cover most of those stitches, but doesn't matter. I know they're there. So the next thing I want to do is find some lace that will do something for his wing. So, the stars. I ended up cutting out the stars out of this quite firm modern lace. Now, when I chose it, because when I cut it, it won't fray. It must have a bit of a plasticky, gluey sort of component to it, and it just doesn't fray. So it's perfect for my stars. So I just laid the template that I used to trace them onto the lace and just snipped around using some little sharp scissors. So really simple, really simple. Okay, I'm sure you've watched yesterday's video now and you've seen Bandit in his green tub washing his paws, and Pepper. So now you know who I'm talking about, the great escapist, Pepper. So that's pretty much, there she is barking. That is the little star. That's all I did, was just snip it out and then just place it on, and a couple little stitches. I didn't want them to be overpowering, so I sort of wanted them to sort of disappear and let the bird now come forward in this. I'm just going to turn off my phone. I can hear messages coming through, so let's turn that off. Okay, so the stars are in place just with a few little stitches. All my beads are done. I'll bring that up to the camera. And my little bird is secure with some extra pistol stitches down his tail, and I stitched a little eye in, which was 2 little lazy daisy stitches and a couple little stab stitches either side. Okay, so I want to layer a tail up. So I cut this snippet out of the lace that was in the star. So I thought that might be something I could use. It did have that little edge on it, but I ended up chopping that off. And I've got some curly pieces of lace here. Got some crocheted lace as well. Whether we use it all, I just don't know. I'm sort of just going to fiddle around a little bit. I thought the white might help with the layers, just to sort of add a bit of interest. And then we've got these scrolly pieces. It's going the wrong way. I thought they might be good on there as well. Maybe I need to make it sort of come up in the air away from the actual. Yeah, I'm liking that. Sort of bringing it up into the air. Then I picked up a little satin rose. I thought that could anchor it into his shoulder. And I've also got some of this and beads. So I might just Where's my needle got to? Get my needle and thread going here. And I might just sort of put a few little stitches into this little cluster of lace. Just to hold it at least. I can always pull it apart if I don't like it. I like how a little bit of the white from the stars is included in this. I might just try and lift that up. So what have we got? We've got the little bit at the back. Those pieces there, they cross over. That's like a little bit of crocheting from a little doily. And then this curly piece in the front here. Let's get some stitches, oops. Let's get some stitches into it. Like I said, if we don't like it, so it's just snippets of bits that I had on in my buckets from those previous projects. And there was a bit of the white. It's sort of following the same principle. If you've watched my Jessie Chorley project, there were 2 swans on it, and I laced up their tails, not their tails, their wings. And I just cut heaps of little bits of lace and just stitched it all together, creating layers to form a little bit of interest. It's like a snippet of bits. So I want to do the same sort of thing. I can catch the underlayers, so at least it holds together. Oh, it's fiddly. The snippet I did for the Jessie Chorley swan was probably the size of my hand, the palm of my hand, where this is just little. So the more layers we can find to add to this, the more interesting the little bird's wing will look. Okay, so let's try and get that lace tucked in under there. That's fine crocheting. I'm not sure where I cut that from, probably a handkerchief. That is so fine. Look at that. You can see the little scallop there on that edge. Oh, tiny. Like, I like crocheting, but that's just above my pay grade. Okay. A couple more stitches. I might now just trim that little bit off. Don't think we need it. I'll just come along the bottom here. We probably don't even need the wing as long as I'm making it, but we'll leave that length there because we might end up drifting beads over it anyway. So I'm talking about snipping off this little bit here. We can always tuck it under, because sometimes tucking it under might give it a little bit of height to have the wing sort of sticking up in the air. Okay, that feels nice and secure now. What else have I got that could be layered onto this? I'm just scanning my table. Got a little bit of cheesecloth here. Maybe I snip a bit of that off. It usually falls to bits in your hand, so I don't know if it's worth the effort, but we'll stitch it in. Can't hurt. What else have I got? Or do I go straight to the rosette? Probably should lay it onto the bird and just sort of see. Yeah, that's good. It's like a second wing. You could cover the whole wing. Where am I in camera? Lift that up a bit. Could cover the whole wing, but I'm tempted just to angle it up a little bit so it's layer upon layer. I like that. I'm going to stitch that down before it goes too far, and then we'll see what else we can. Let's just get a stitch in there to anchor that. See all these little bits lying around our table. You just never know where you're going to use them. And I want the wing to be really elaborate. We've got quite a chunky bird nest, so the bird could potentially be overpowered by the nest, and he is the feature at the end of the day. So we sort of need this wing to make it look like the bird is really quite substantial. We still have this one. I wonder if that could come out the top. If I stitch that up there. Yeah, I'm tempted to do that. It's a bit random, but if I can get my angle right, it could look like it's sort of underneath the wing. Yeah, I like that. Where's my needle? So I'm just going to grab that into position. Like so. And I wonder, I might get a little bit more of this cheesecloth and just roll that end so it's sort of a little clustery, like so. And then I'm just going to lift that and see if I can stitch that in too. It'll just help create a bit more texture underneath. So a couple little stitches. Hopefully I can grab it without pinning that leaf or that feather down too much so that it looks so flat, because I really want it to sit up, but I don't want it to fall out. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so just a cluster with a couple layers. Now we need something to indicate there is a shoulder, a joint. So we've got a couple options. We can put the little rosette. Let me pull that needle right through. And I've lost it. Thread it again. Okay, so we got the rosette. We've also got this trim with some little daisies on it, so let's get a couple of those off, or at least one. I like both of them actually. And then maybe we put some beads in. So let's get the rosette down, because I think he's going to stay. He works for me. And that little flower too, let's try and catch him in there as well. Is it up the right way? Nope. Oh gosh, how are you supposed to tell? It's that way. And we'll pop him in there as well, so he's sort of semi-hidden by the rosette. It's very fiddly. If you don't like fiddly embroidery, this is not for you. You could probably make it completely separate and then just, you know, a couple stitches down, but I never think that far ahead. It sort of just comes together. Okay, I'm going to end that thread because I need more cotton. Because my rosette's only got one stitch in it, so I do need to catch him. Okay. A bit more thread. It's looking good. Okay, let's have another go at getting that rosette secure. Just stitching into the center of it, and I'm thinking by pulling down in the center, creating a little bowl, and I think I'm going to put a bead in there. Just something. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, I like it. Let's get one of those and stitch that down into the center of the rosette. That really looks like that's a joint in the bird's wing. It's very chunky, like usual. All my pictures become very chunky. That's why I need such a big spine on my book, and why I'm not yet committed to a spine, because you just don't know how big things are going to get. So that ties the beads from the wreath into the bird. Yeah, I'm like that. There you go. That's come up really well. He's got the little bead. Now I want to do something at the top of his head. I think beads would look too bulky. I could probably do, oh, what's that? That's just fallen on there. Oh, that's from the curl of that lace. Hang on, let's just have a little play with that. Oh, there's another one. Okay, now we got something. These were on the side of that lace, so they're like two little bits that have been cut off. So where's my needle and thread? Got a knot, yep. So I'm thinking those two on there, and maybe those two. Yeah, I like it. There you go. That was random. Oh, there's even that piece. It's got a good shape about it too. What's that doing? It looks a bit muddy. I do like that shape, but no. I'll stick with this. Well, it did fall into the center of my piece, so I'm going to attempt to stitch these on like they're feathers coming out the top of the bird's head. I have to put a few stitches on that bottom because it was snipped off that lace. It will fray. I can already see that it's starting to unravel. So a few little extra stitches in here. That's it. And catch. So yeah, that's all unraveling there. So let's catch that. That should hold. The top hasn't been snipped, so it shouldn't unravel from the top. It's just where it was detached from that bottom. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now this little piece. The right way. Okay. Maybe we bring it down a little bit onto the bird's head itself. Oops. Oh, I'm just all thumbs today. Struggling to grab the needle. Okay, that's good. So I've sort of brought that second little cluster of, oh, now it's unthreaded. Goodness me. Just when you just want it to go smoothly to secure something, because this is like painting. You just pick up your paint and go for it, and your blooming needle falls off the thread. So you got to stop. I just need that up a little bit because I don't want it to interfere with the eye. Otherwise it'll be, my eye won't see that there is a break between the two components, the feathers at the top of the head and the eye. Mind you, it doesn't really matter, I guess. There's feathers that come out the side of the eye zone on some birds. Lots of stitches in there. What I might do, is I think we need some little beads in there. What have we got in the way of? Where's those pearls? Seed beads. Just bear with me. Look. Oh, let's be fancy. What have we got in here? They might be too big, but they're like a bit big. What about that one? Oh, tip them all out. Tip them all over the desk. Might as well make a mess. But that one. Sort of don't mind that. They're all a bit big. Let's, oops. Now they're everywhere. Goodness sakes. Do you ever get up from your craft table and move into another room and you see random items that were never in that room? Happens to me all the time. So what I've got here, I've got this teardrop bead. I've got this, I'm sure they've got shape names, and I've got that. 3 random little beads. I'm going to attempt to stitch them down. I won't put blue on the little bird at the top of the head. Let's just do some amber coloured little beads. They're all different shapes, so they'll either look spectacular or silly. So let's see. There's a little space there. I might put this little bead in. Okay, so that's another one secured in, and then we'll tuck the bigger one just back a little bit, so it's sort of coming out behind his, oops, now I've lost the needle, for goodness sakes. See what I mean? It's just one of those days. It's probably not a good day to be beading. I'm a little bit excited about my little bird. And I've sat down quickly and just want to get into him, get him started and have a play. And now I'm just all fingers and thumbs, probably because I'm rushing. So I'm just attempting to nestle this bigger bead slightly to the back of his crest. Let's be technical now. Let's call it a crest. Or a cone if he was a chicken. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I'm thinking it's spectacular. I might just pop, like, let's just not stop. Let's go that extra bit. Where's my gold beads I used on the wreath? I'm just going to put a little bit of gold up there as well. Like I was saying with the wreath, 3 sizes of beads always looks good. You start with your big ones and then soften your display or your area of work with just a few little beads. I don't know why, but it just seems to look really good. And birds are great to do bead work on. My journal of stitchery from the first half of the year, I've still got pages left, and I would love to do a selection of these birds from Lisa Maddox's pattern book, Alfred, which is a PDF that I purchased from her website, and do a selection of those birds, piecing together the different shapes and have them all sort of like parading along, and then lace them and bead them. I think it'd look beautiful. I do have a double page spread where I did the mushrooms, so that would give me a bit of room to do a few birds and then really make them look spectacular. And it'd be a great spot to sort of refer back to. So if in the future, if I decided to do an Alfred somewhere, like a piece like this, I could go to that study of Alfred. We had the study of mushrooms on the inside cover. Maybe the study of Alfred. And I could just do lots of different ways of decorating a bird. I think I'd probably get maybe 5 of them in that spot. And it'd be great just to flip it open and go, oh, okay, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. Like I need another project, mind you. But we'll see. The next prompt might come together really quickly and I have a bit of time, so maybe we do the study of Alfred. Who knows? Okay. I do like that. I've got some little gold beads now in amongst those amber coloured ones that appeared on the scene. Oh, now I've lost my thread again. Goodness me. Trying very hard not to say a naughty word. Patience. Rethread. One more little knot just to hold these little crest embellishments into position. Okay. So little things like that, like they're really good to use as little textures on things. There we go. Look at that. Look at his little crest. Couple little nodules of lace and then a random cluster of beads. Oh, he's a pretty boy. Yep, I like that. Okay, what's next? I can do his nest now. I think my bird is complete and I'm just going to stitch now. Where is the nest? Put these beads away before they end up on the floor or in the next room down the hallway. Okay, let's find the nest position. Just looking up at the TV. Yep, I'm liking that. So I'm just going to pop a few little stitches in behind here, and then last thing I want to bead around that nest so it looks like he's pinched a few berries from the wreath and has worked them into his little nest. We decided it was a boy building a nest for a girl. She's out relaxing. She's getting ready to have babies, rear her babies, and the lad here is getting the nest ready for her. And he's a bit of a fancy boy. Like, look at him. He's got beads and roses on him like Mr. Bluebird here. He's a bit of a class act. Imagine what the missus looks like. She might actually be plain. You know how they do? Sometimes you'll see the male of a bird and he is just all, you know, colour and dazzle. And then the little girl comes along and it's like, gee, you're very brown. Maybe that's the case here. Okay, that nest I'm happy now is secure. I just used a fairly heavy cotton thread. So I'll just knot that off. Then I will grab my bead needle with some of the sewing machine cotton and we'll do, there's his nest. Lovely. Now, I've got such a mess on my table. There is bits of lace and I'll be pleased when this little panel is done because it's been quite messy. Compared to the nativity one, that just came together with a couple bits and pieces. Okay, so let's just scatter now some beads. I didn't use many of these silver ones, so I do want to at least get 2 of those in. So I'm just going to, just with a little stitch, you watch this get tangled in that nest. Take my time, Corrine. Concentrate what you're doing. Okay. go to this opposite corner but below the sticks. Oh goodness. Yes, I've done it again. Okay. All right. I'll pop him down there because I'll drift from above to below. And once again, start with the bigger beads first. What other beads have I got? Pop another one in there. Couple of these blue ones, and they're loose, so they'll be good to get them stitched down. I need to thread my beads off of these strings because they're a disaster waiting to happen, and get them into some little containers, and then I'll feel a little bit better about this whole thing. Okay. Stitched hem in. There's been a lot of beading in this project, which is lovely. We might nestle the second blue one into there. Oh, it's come off again. Oh, boy, oh boy. Imagine doing this all the time, beading. My grandmother would bead bodices on wedding dresses and the train and the skirt. Not I. I don't mind it occasionally, just a few little scattered beads, but boy, to do it as part of a major project like a wedding dress, hats off to you ladies. If you go searching for videos on beading wedding dresses on YouTube, you'll see some time capsule, oh not time capsule, you know, where they speed it up and they'll show how they've beaded something. Oh goodness me, just stunning. Now I'm going to come back up through the center there, and I'm thinking I'll start with some smaller beads. What have we got? Maybe a couple of these. That's right, I knotted it. So now I'm going to unknot it with a snip. Patience, knot. Grab two of those. So we're getting smaller. The other one up here. Then I might grab some of the pearls. Could even put a little button in there. That would be cute. Where did they get to? I'll show you this flower. When I went looking for lace for the wing, I found this gold braid. This here. It's got a shimmer of gold and it sort of suits. And I did consider not doing the stars and actually using that. I thought, no, stick with the stars. It's Christmas. I might have a look at maybe including one of those gold flowers in the nest area here. It'll just add that little bit extra detail. Okay, that's those two secure. So coming up through the center, I do need to find the pearls. Here they are. couple of them across the top. Yes, it happened again. Okay. One more, and then I will knot it and get some new cotton, which is a bit longer because I'm struggling to get these into position without losing my, there we go again. Goodness. Okay. All right, let's get that knotted there. Is there anyone out there watching that has beaded a wedding dress? Whether you do it professionally as a job or you've done it for a family member, a special project, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Is it as challenging as I am finding it just doing some beads on a bird? Okay. I hope you've been in shot. I haven't even looked up at the camera. Look, wrong needle. Is that the right needle? No, it's okay. No, it's the wrong needle. Okay. Knot it. Now let's just get a few little gold ones in the action now. I wouldn't mind having some of those big gold ones that we were using. Let's have a look in the tray. So they were joined together. I'm going to see if I can part them just by putting a little pressure in that center there with the scissors. Yep. Now whether I can get the needle into them, because they might be stuck in this. Oh no, good. We're away. It's a little gold one. Okay, so this needle's so fine that I've switched to, because I was going to do small beads next, that it's going to break. I can feel the pressure on it. Let me just adjust my chair. Let's get this back up in shot. I do apologise if you've missed all that action. Okay, that's two little. Now I'm caught into the sticks of the nest. My goodness, degree of difficulty here. Oh, come on. Get over there. I managed to get all those beads on and not get tangled. And now coming to the end, and I've got myself knotted up. Okay, so now I'm just coming back up over the center of there. I'm going to pick up two because I'm getting impatient. I'm starting to lose interest. And just stitch two little gold guys up the top there. So now I'm going to drift sort of up towards the bird. Pick up another two, because once again, starting to lose interest in this whole beading exercise. Come on, pick you up. Three. No, we just want two. Yeah, three's well and good, but it starts to look like a line. Oh goodness, are you even on the camera? I do apologise. Now I've got it around the stick. I'm determined not to say a naughty word, but I'm really feeling like a naughty word would suit the situation here. I'll chuck a little bead in under the back of that twig. Needle's not fine enough for that bead. These beads are just cheapy ones from a goodness knows where. They're certainly not good quality. So the mix is a bit of everything. So I find that probably a third of them with the finest needle I own, it just doesn't even pick them up. So sooner or later I'm going to get to a point where, because I've taken out hundreds of beads from this little container, all I will have is just the ones that I can't pick up. I think they come from a $2 shop. Okay, so I'm just scooting over to this other side of the nest. A few more little gold beads. Just adds that little bit of sparkle. Not that Mr. Bird needs any more sparkle. Okay. Let's go down the bottom here. Where does it end? Just keep adding and adding. Okay. Gosh, I've spent 40 minutes on this little bird. That's crazy. That's looking great. I like that. Oops, I've caught the twig. Pull that back out of there. We've come this far. All right, I'm going to knock that off. Lock them away before they fly everywhere. Just double check that. Do we need the little flower? No. Nope. Don't be going and adding new elements. So I can okay, one more knot just in case. All right. There we go. There he is. What a flash little bird. Bring that up. We've got a cluster of beads in his nest because, you know, you just have to. He's got a bead on his wing with a cluster of lace. He's got some fancy little beads up on the top, 3 random beads. Let's found a home for those 3 because they're the only 3 in that shape. Then all around the wreath, we've got a mix of beads, twine, stitching. I can now put the hot iron on the reverse of this and get rid of all of those little red lines. A little flower there, a little star in the lace, just subtle in the background. Sort of helps tie all of the white in that appears and the off-white. Yeah, happy with that. Really happy with that. The only thing I'd probably want to have a look at now is, do I add a frame to it? And what I mean by that is using the blue, add a frame that will come and go and disappear and pop back out from within the design. So a good way to have a check is just grab your cotton that you think you're going to use and just lay it down around your picture. I think I will use this as a frame. Now the other thing I need to do is, because this is part of the advent calendar, we need blue buttons. Now, days ago I found some blue buttons and they're sitting in here. I'm getting very low on blue buttons and I'm only at day 2. So I do need to go hunting for blue buttons. So I need to consider that they will also be involved in my border. So wherever they go, my frame needs to disappear in and out behind them. we've got to have a frame. So what I'll do is now just using my ruler, and I know I need to be about probably 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the fabric. I'm just going to rule the lines. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. At the end of the day, it's fabric and fabric moves, and you can already see that due to the stitching in there, the bottom edge is pulling up, but that's okay. I'm just going to stop my frame at either side of the nest, so my stitch will start there, go all the way around and end there, and that way this here isn't interfered with in the way of visually. So I'm just going to do the top now, which can be a solid line because the wreath itself is still just below that, and that will meet there, and then the buttons will be in position. Okay, so I just need some needle and thread. I won't have enough time to finish this, but what I will do is finish the video. I will then complete it and take a few photos, so when the video finishes you will see. Should I couch it on? I'll do a running stitch. I think I'll do a running stitch. I'll do a spaced out one first. Yeah, that looks good. I don't want it to be too solid that it takes away from the piece in the center, because you sort of can close in your image. That makes sense. You could do satin stitch, you could do all sorts of decorative stitches, but I do have it pretty busy in there. There's a lot going on. Really happy with it, my little bluebird. A lot of work. I think there's been maybe three videos, and that's not counting the time between videos just to sort of keep the project. Now that's crooked, see? If I start talking, I can see that that stitch is not quite on my line. Doesn't really matter, but you know, it'll be that one thing that you'll be standing in front of your bunting with someone in years to come looking at it, and your eye will go to that exact stitch and you'll be thinking, why didn't I just pull it out and do it again? Okay. Yep, that's looking good. That's going to be good. It's just going to give a subtle frame to the piece. Should I be crazy and seed stitch it all? That'd be just crazy. You know, I'm thinking about it. How long would that take? I think the red nativity, I seed stitched that and it took 3 movies. So if every movie, now it wasn't 3, the third movie was silly and I'd given up on it by then. I think it was 2 movies, so 4 hours it took me to seed stitch the nativity, and this would be a little bit more. More space to do. Oh, I don't know. It would look good. No, I don't think I will. I think it will detract from some of the detail. The nativity was a simple piece. This has got a lot more happening. And I think the seed stitch would probably drag your eye away from other things that are going on here, and you probably wouldn't notice some of the little bits and pieces. That's my story anyway, because I've changed my mind. How are we going for time? 50 minutes. Okay. We are closing in on video. Will be too long and will take all day to upload. Thank you, Telstra, for exceptional internet service. Running out of thread, so I'll keep going. I'm going to stop on the other side. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to extend that branch here so that it comes up past the frame, and I think that'll look really neat. That looks like that little bristle is poking through. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I will end my stitching there because I need to actually get more thread anyway. I'll end the video as well. Thank you for joining me again, everyone. I will finish this border. I will give it a good iron to get rid of all those red lines. And at the end of this video, you'll see a few photos of the piece completed. I will also stitch on the buttons so that they're in position for making of the number 2 that will go over the top of it, which will be the next video. I'll go through the process to create the cover for the piece. Look, while I'm talking, I'm away again. I just want to finish it. I should stop the video. Okay, so I'm going to duck under there, past that little holly. Keep going. What's another minute or two? You've stuck with me this far. I definitely won't get the buttons on. That'd probably be pushing the boundaries, but we all know how to sew a button on. Let's just get this border done. Oh, it's going to look good. I really like it. Oops, don't rush and wreck it. It's gathering up on me because I'm rushing. Steady. Okay. Round we go. Concentrating, trying to go fast, trying not to pucker it all up, trying to be straight. Here we go, we're coming into the other side of the nest. Home run. Time I add pictures, this video is going to be well over 60 minutes, I'd say. That's all good. There we go, and we're back. Lovely. So I'll just catch a little stitch in behind there. And again. Okay, there we go. The border is done. The bird is done. The wreath is done. Tick, tick, tick. All I've got to do now is just stitch on my buttons so they're ready to catch the cover. There we go. And my little project is finished. Excellent. Thank you everyone for joining in on this prompt. Looking forward to the next one. So have a lovely weekend, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.